Hi everyone, Dr. Emmy from Pain Free and Fit. Today, a great exercise for those of you with chronic lower back pain related to degenerative discs, herniated discs, or bulging discs. We're going to learn how to train legs heavy using the lever squat with a modification using resistance bands at the hips. Hope you enjoy. So if you've seen any of our other videos on the channel concerning disc problems in the lower back, such as disc degeneration, or herniated disc, bulging disc, and learning how to work out with heavy leg training without irritating your lower back, you know we've discussed the concept of trying to stimulate and stress the legs and the hips with relieving the lower back by decreasing the vertical compression or the flexion effect on the spine, because vertical compression and flexion are bending forward, losing that arch in your lower back has a tendency to create more disc trouble for most disc sufferers. And we have discussed this exercise known as the lever squat before, using a lever bench where when we set ourselves up, as we hold, we are going to have more of a horizontal line of pull. When we normally squat with back squats or front squats, there's much more of a vertical compression. But anytime we can get the resistance behind us so that as we pull, we're not pulling straight up and down with the resistance, but we're pulling more in a front to back manner, like sled pulls or drags. The lever squat is great for that, because once we set ourselves on the machine, we can tilt our body forward from our ankles, holding our core and our RPI. Again, what RPI is your reverse posture isometric, the unique setting or alignment of your low back and pelvis with the unique muscle tension that you need. Again, if you don't know what that is, check out our website, painfreeandfit.com. We have some tutorials on there for obtaining neutral spine and a lot of videos on the channel that go over it in more detail. But basically, you want to, through an analysis, figure out what your weak tendencies are for low back pain. What's driving the mechanical stress in your discs, not only when you're working out in the gym, but also with your daily activities. If you have a tendency to hip hike, let's say, raise one hip up slightly because you're used to strengthening the muscles like the quadratus lumborum and the external oblique on that side and the lat on that side. Or you have a tendency to lean your rib to one side or slightly twist to one side, either with the pelvis or the torso, or perhaps laterally translate, or have a pelvic tilting problem where the tail is held a little too up or under, increasing or decreasing the lordosis or the curve of your back. You need to know that because you need to set yourself in a neutral alignment, which is in the mid-range between the ranges of motion or the movements that cause stress in your back. That's all determined through an analysis. You need to plug into there your tensions of your core muscles that hold that. You may have a weak multifidus muscle, L4 or L5. You may have an overactive internal oblique when you try to engage your transverse abdominis. If you do, weaknesses in the core muscles, including the lats, erector spinae, abs, they all have a tendency to pull asymmetrically if we don't have a nice balanced pull or stabilization effect on the back. So again, through a body analysis, you need to learn what your unique problems are so you can engage your RPI, so you can engage your neutral spine alignment and hold that when you do this or any exercise. So once we have that engaged, the lever squat is done by leaning forward slightly from the ankles, not leaning forward from the waist or the hips, so that our line of drive or pull is more front to back. When I normally squat, it's a more up and down motion as I'm coming with my resistance. With a lever squat or something that's behind you like a sled drag, we're pulling more front to back. There's more of a horizontal motion. So that's the beauty of using a lever squat. Today what we're going to do is we're going to use even less weight on our lever squat than we normally do to decrease the compression effect even further, and attach a resistance band from the base behind me on this machine around my hips so that I have resistance at the hips pulling me backwards as I try to drive the weight forward. That increases glute, hamstring, quad, calf effects, a lot more muscular activity pulling front to back with that resistance, again, furthering that front to back pressure rather than compression. So we're going to get hooked up here, get some weights on, we'll do a set, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, I'm set up with my power band anchored to a point behind me. In this case, I'm using about a 4-inch power band. This can provide a couple extra 100 pounds of resistance depending on how far away from your anchor point you are. Again, I'm using this band because it's providing me a front to back resistance which stresses the spine in more of a horizontal manner, much safer on the disc than that vertical compression. When I'm using my lever squat today, I'm going to be holding onto these handles like a deadlift almost, or a low dumbbell or hex bar type squat. And if you notice, I have a sumo stance. It's easier to use that stance than, say, a parallel hip stance with this exercise. And I'm going to be tilting my whole body slightly forwards from my ankles. Again, not bending forward from my waist. I got my RPI engaged, core tension for a neutral spine. That's going to be my focus through the exercise. I'm going to use a couple hundred extra pounds of resistance on the hips, and I've got about 405 on my lever. Again, don't get caught up with the weight. You could be a plus 1,000-pound squatter. You could be a small, frail girl, older woman who maybe uses 5, 8-pound dumbbells. It really doesn't matter. It's where you're at in your own training. Again, remember, I've been in this training game for many years, past the point of competition. As an older man, here I am, popping out 405 with a couple extra 100 pounds of resistance. Doesn't matter where I'm at, it's where you're at. My unique neutral spine, I'm going to be focusing on keeping my left hip down, left rib up, and multifidus at L5. You have to keep your neutral spine and RPI based on your body. All right, let's hit the set. Got my core engaged, lower tummy in, transverse abdominis, multifidus bulging out, left hip slightly down and rib up. Bracing with my abs. That spinal curve is going to stay put. That's my focus through the set, besides driving with my legs and my glutes. I'm going to angle slightly forward from my ankles, hold my weight, check my core, and go. All right, there we have it. 35 reps with that setup. My goal was to hit 30 or plus. Again, easier on my back, less vertical compression. If you like this video on lever squats with hip band resistance, check out our website. Got a lot of great videos out there to help you train heavy with sparing your lower back. Questions or comments, write in as always. I'll do my best to answer you. If you're looking for a great program to figure out what your analysis is of your lower back, your body mechanics, your core muscles, what's wrong, how to fix them, and how to step-by-step implement it into a heavy physical exercise program to get you from wherever you're at now to slowly build you up and get more active. It could be that you just want to learn how to garden again without hurting your back. It could be you want to get in the gym and really pop some nice weight. Check out our fast track program for degenerative disc disease, available at painfreeandfit.com. I hope this exercise, lever squats with hip resistance bands, helps you with your leg training and chronic lower back issues related to degenerative disc disease, herniated discs, and bulging discs.